It just didn't even agree with my spirit. And I knew it. It was like that was it. Hello, I'm Dana. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. This is kind of like a part 2 of the last video that I filmed about my life update. As I was thinking, well, when I was recording that video, it was getting quite long and it just took on a mind of itself. And I realized that I hadn't really talked about some of the other things that I wanted to talk about as far as life update goes. So, I know previously when I used to record videos several years back, a lot of my content was around sewing. And I wanted to talk about that. I am still sewing a lot. I just don't have the space right now to do my what I'm wearing Wednesdays. I used to love doing that. And I would just come on each day and talk about what I was wearing and the new things that I had made. And I really love those videos, but I just don't have the space right now to set up at home to film those videos. But I am still loving my sewing. I try and sew a couple times a week. Um, some of the patterns that I have been loving lately are um, the closet core Kelly shirt dress. I've also been making the Lizo and Co shirt pattern, and I've been modifying that or hacking that and making dresses or tunics and also like long dusters. So I've made several of those, several tops, dresses. I also have been loving the Maven apron dress, which is what I'm wearing now. This is a size small. I got this canvasy fabric from Hobby Lobby a while ago. This is not new. It's actually kind of faded right now. And underneath that, I am wearing a Kelly shirt and it's kind of cropped and it's just in this green cotton fabric. It might be a bed sheet. I'm not sure. And I've also been loving making like tier dresses. I use several different patterns for the bodice. Like some of them, I use the Rooney slip dress pattern, which is basically a rectangle with the sleeves cut out, and I make it into a tiered dress. I have several of them that are just straight. I really love tiered dresses and I make them in several different lengths. Yeah, so those are pretty much what I've been sewing lately. I try and keep it simple for the most part because of my limited amount of time that I do get to sew. A lot of times I just want to make something that's satisfying that I know I'm going to wear. Even though I do have a lot of patterns that are already traced, I've just been sticking to things that I just love. The places that I've been getting most of my fabric lately is Hobby Lobby, Walmart, and the thrift store. I don't have a lot of fabric right now that's in my stash. I have to keep it really minimal because of the limited space. And just to transition into our current living situation, we've been in a temporary living situation for a little over 2 years. I did talk about that in my book. Life has continued to be one surrender after another. I talk about that in my last video that after the release of my book, 7 Years to Surrender, what life has been like, and it has been more surrender. And as I continue to allow life to unfold, it's just still showing me so many things that I need to surrender to. Surrendering to our current living situation was a whole journey in itself. I can't get into it in detail right now, but I am thankful and I continue to allow God to give me perspective and continue to just look for my happy place every day. Like, even if it's just coming on and making these videos or getting a carrot cake ice cap from Tim Hortons, that's been my favorite thing lately. It's just those little things that I look forward to each day, and I have to continue to press. Just look for those little things that bring me joy throughout the day, throughout the week. Some of my time is also spent just doing daily domestic duties. So that's an every week thing like laundry or cleaning or cooking. And I'm just continuing to grow. Even in this situation, it's uncomfortable a lot. Sometimes it is even frustrating. But God has just, He gives me different things to help me even in this journey. And I'm so thankful. Like some things are just like total miracles. Sometimes you have those days where the only way to keep moving is to think it could be worse. And I don't like to stay in that place because it sounds ungrateful, and I really don't want to show my ungratefulness. And I really don't want to make it appear that I am ungrateful because I am so grateful and thankful for what we do have. When I talk about the limited space, when we came to this current living situation back in 2024, right? Yeah. My mom was going through her cancer journey, and even seeing her and watching her go through that journey gave me so much perspective in transitioning into our current living situation. Because when I think about her journey and how miserable and angry she was, and she kind of wanted everybody to know that she was angry, and it just gave me so much perspective that, we all go through different situations. And I didn't even want to tell her what we were dealing with because I didn't want to put that load on her. She dealt with a lot of anxiety, and that helped me to go through our situation with grace. That's been the main thing that has helped me go through this journey is I just wanted to go through it with grace because I realized that that is key. When you can just have a perspective, it eases the weight. Even after we got here, we had to put a lot of our things into storage because we didn't have the space to bring it with us. And over the months, I had talked to Tim about getting our stuff out of storage because I didn't want to lose it because I knew he was struggling with the monthly payments to keep it. But he was so busy, and then sometimes it would be too cold or too hot, and we would never get around to going to get my things out of storage. I had a lot of my sewing fabric, a lot of my tools, even most of our furniture was in storage. But I at least wanted to get my fabric out, and even a lot of things that I had made, I had put into storage because I didn't know how long we would be here. It was several months ago. I don't know how long ago. I felt in my spirit that I had to let it go. Like I said, that was another surrender. Like each month, I didn't know if he was up to date on the payments or not. I just told him, like, you don't have to keep it for me. But I was still sad to let my things go. Tim and I, we have been on this faith journey. So I don't work right now. I don't have a full time job. I don't have a 9 to 5 job where I go to work and work for someone. I haven't worked since I haven't worked outside of our home for, I guess, 9 years now. We actually just celebrated our 10-year anniversary yesterday. So I haven't worked in probably 8 to 9 years outside the home. There were times where I did work the apps like food delivery, and there was also another job that I had, which was in accounting, and it was really an ideal position, but that didn't last long. But early on in our relationship, Tim had the mind that he wanted me to be free. He wanted me to just rest. And it has been a sacrifice. It's not a brag when I say I left my 9 to 5 job because it has been a sacrifice, but I prefer having my time. My needs are met. And granted, there are a lot of things that I don't like doing. I don't like having to do laundry on a weekly basis or having to cook several times a week. I still choose that because I can still control my day and control my week for the most part. And there are things that I could do to gain money or to get money, but even that is not really worth it because I still prefer having my time. At one point, I was sewing, like I had my sewing business and I would sew for other people, but just recently, probably about a year ago or less than a year ago, I had an epiphany one day. Someone had given me a bag of clothes to do alterations. And I took the clothes, but it was just something in my spirit was like, I really don't want to do this. Like it was just it just didn't even agree with my spirit. And I knew it. It was like that was it. I was just like, why am I doing this? For one, it's not even worth the money. Doing alterations is, for me, it's even worse than actually sewing a garment from scratch. Doing alterations is just not easy. I don't mind doing them on myself, but doing them for other people, it's just not worth it. And then along with that, I just decided that I no longer want to sew for other people because one, I don't have a lot of time to sew in the first place. And it's like the time that I do have, I want to sew for myself because it brings me the most joy. Like I get so much joy when I make something and I put it on and it's just like just what I imagined. People that so understand, like you do the happy dance, like it's a whole thing. It just made me stop cold turkey. Like I just can't do this anymore. As it stands, yeah, I don't really see myself going back to sewing for people because I just, you just weigh the pros and cons and the cons just totally outweigh the pros. I
So,
talked about writing my next book, and I've just been letting God lead me. I've written some chapters in it, and I have some ideas even in my head, but I've just really been trying to promote 7 Years to Surrender right now and just focus on that and continue to make my videos to read each chapter and give my recap. I really don't have an expectation of when the second book will come out, and I'm fine with that. I'm not trying to push it faster than I feel led to push it. And as far as me reading through my first book, I was reading through my first book the other day, and it hit me that it was really another setup because when I put my book out and I exposed a lot of things that had happened in my life, and then I felt led to come on and read it, to put my voice to my words. When I originally put my book out, it was just the whole surrender to putting it out. And I knew it was a risk to put myself out there and expose a lot of things, a lot of secrets, a lot of hidden places. And part of me was like, okay, I did it. It took a lot to just put it out there. And I felt like that was the biggest step. But as I've been reading the chapters and making videos, I was about to read one chapter and I was doing the recap, and it hit me that this was a setup. It continues to be a surrender. And I was just like thinking like, wow, it's like to process that in the moment because I wasn't expecting it to be still weighty, I guess. Of course I can like not do it. I do realize that, but this whole journey is about surrendering. I'm processing it and reading each chapter is helping me to continue to process and continue to heal and continue to be vulnerable and transparent. And that's why I say it's still a surrender. It's this feeling like I'm out here now. That's what it is. It's just this, I'm out here now. And I don't want fear to bind me. And I want to just continue to be aware, to just process those feelings, even in the unknown, because I didn't know that I was going to feel like this with reading each chapter. And so as I continue to read, I'm just watching and being aware of the resistance. And I will continue to be led by God. And even if it's taking longer to read each chapter through, it's okay. I'm not rushing the process. I'm just letting it unfold and just being aware, like I said, of the resistance and acknowledging just the whole idea that life is a surrender. And so I just continue to breathe through it. So I guess that's it for now. What has been going on in your life that is maybe causing you to resist? What do you feel like you need to surrender to? I just want to continue to come on and just share a little bit of insight of what this journey has been like since the surrender, because it is a huge step, and I still feel the freedom of exposing everything and being transparent and vulnerable is still worth it. That in spite of everything, the good and the bad, that it's all working for my good. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.